Good morning. How you guys doing? This is a good old Grandmaster Robin here, and you're watching the Anonymous Liberty Media on YouTube at 3:18 a.m. And we have some news from the Geek app, and here it is. Um, Facebook building evacuated after reported bomb threat. Okay, a building on Facebook. A building on Facebook's Menlo Park campus, which houses both Instagram and Facebook employees, has been evacuated Tuesday night after a reported bomb threat. Menlo Park Police confirmed on Twitter that its bomb squad was on the scene and conducted a search of the building, but later said it didn't find any explosives or suspicious package. The threat was initially called in by the NYPD Crime Stoppers Unit, according to the local San Francisco NBC authority. NBC report. Authorities in Menlo Park were then alerted. The rest of the Facebook campus was not told to evacuate at the time of the rioting. Concerns about safety at take-up campuses in the Bay Area have risen over the past year, especially following the shooting at a YouTube's San Bruno campus in April. Unclear how many people were working when the call came in, sometime in the late afternoon in the West Coast. Guess it's, guess it's that bad. I mean, yeah, because last this year there was a shooting in the YouTube campus in where was it? In let's see, where's it at? San Bruno campus this year, and now also here is China ban sales of most iPhone models after granting Qualcomm an injunction against Apple. This is the New York CNN Business. A Chinese court has banned the sales and import of most iPhone models in a stunning decision amid the trade between the United States and China. The ban does not cover the new iPhone XS, iPhone XS Plus, or the iPhone XR, which were not yet available when Qualcomm filed its lawsuit. The phone covered by the ban makes up about 10% to 50% of iPhone's current sales in China, according to Daniel Ives, analyst at Wedbush Securities. The court granted a pair of preliminary injunctions against by Qualcomm and American microchip maker. Qualcomm claims that Apple violates two of its patents in the iPhone 6s, 6s Plus, i7, iPhone 7 Plus, i8, iPhone 8, iPhone 8 Plus, and iPhone X. The patent will allow people to edit and resize photos on the screen on the phone and manage apps by using a touchscreen, according to Qualcomm. The practical effect of the injunction is not yet clear. The ruling was announced publicly Monday, but put in effect last week. But Apple said in a statement that all phone models remain available in China. If Apple is violating an order, Qualcomm will seek enforcement of orders through enforcement tribunals that are part of China court system. Don Rosberg, general counsel for Qualcomm, said in a statement. Apple accused Qualcomm of playing dirty tricks, including inserting a patent that had already been invalidated by international courts and other patents that it never before used. Apple said it will pursue a legal response in court. Qualcomm's effort to ban our products is another desperate move by a company whose illegal practices are under investigation by regulators around the world, Apple said. Apple on Monday filed a request for the court to reconsider its decision. Qualcomm applauded the rulings that Apple owes its money for using its technology. We deeply value our relationship with customers, rarely resorting sorry, resorting to courts for assistance. But we also have a abiding belief in the need of protected intellectual property rights. Don Roseberg, General Counsel for Qualcomm, said in a statement, Apple continues to benefit from our intellectual property while refusing to compensate us. Investors were mostly unmoved. Apple's stock closed up nearly 1% Monday. Qualcomm's stock rose 2%. Shocking ruling adds to threat of trade war escalation. The ruling was a surprise. Product injunctions are rarely granted, but in China it was widely expected to reject Qualcomm's request for a ban, although it's possible to know whether politics played a part of the decision. China and the United States were embroiled in a tit-for-tat trade war that threatens to boil over. Technology is at least heart of the clash between the two countries. Days after President Trump and President Xi Jinping agreed to a 90-day trade truce, Canada announced that it is holding for extraditions to the United States the chief financial officer of Huawei, China's biggest telecommunications company. A bail hearing for the Huawei CFO Ming Wazhao continued Tuesday. The country can't come to terms on a lasting agreement by an ending of the 90-day window. Trump has threatened to impose tariffs on essentially all China exports to the United States that are not already subjected to import tax. Global battle between tech giants. Apple and Qualcomm are suing one another in court across the world. Billions of dollars are at stake, and each side has claimed some victories. In 2017, Apple sued Qualcomm for $1 billion after a chip maker stopped paying for the exclusive rights to put its chip in iPhones. Qualcomm withheld its payment after a European Union began investigating them. The EU ultimately deemed the payment illegal, and in January of 2018, the European Commission ordered Qualcomm to pay a $1.2 million fine over the issue. Apple and Qualcomm are also suing one another in several parts of patent dispute. Qualcomm has asked a U.S. federal judge to ban sales of iPhones in one case. In June, a judge in the International Trade Commission found that Apple had violated one Qualcomm patent related to the battery saving technology. In July, Qualcomm said Apple would no longer include its modems in iPhones. Qualcomm's cut its profit forecast after the announcement. Wow, that's a very insane shit. Very insane shit. That's 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 just insane. Can tag birds predict coming earthquakes? Shit. China threatens Canada with grave consequences if Huawei CFO not freed. That's a very insane thing. Beware the holiday smart toys that spy on your kids. I'm kind of no, I've been kind of sitting back, watch all this crap going on. I didn't want to jump to the I didn't want to jump into a video right away because I felt like I want more information on what um, all this hullabaloo is about. So I did kind of waited and until I got further info so I could do a video on it. And there were a lot of things to look at, read, understand. I mean, the news has. I mean, if you look at today's story about came across an article 2 days ago about the Google's anti-Breitbart plot, and I was reading it. It's insane. Now, the CEO yesterday testified and lied, but he did drop some troops to the matter. And these troops were the matter of if Google is tracking you, and it is true. Google is tracking you. Google has ways to track you, even though I mean we're using the Android open source software, okay, open source operating system, and there's ways of tracking you if you use, say, the search engine Google or the Chrome web browser, which is very popular because it's Google. But I don't use Google to search anything, except if I do, I use my I use the Firefox Focus web browser to do it because they can't really track you by your search. Um, but I use Bing quite a bit. I like Bing because I mean I am a Windows guy too. So um, I mean I had no problem with. But the thing is, you gotta wonder if you are. Um, is there a way to take care? I mean, like, is there a way? I mean, I've been asking this for a long time, and every time when you when there is a solution to something, okay, a solution, okay, to a alternative platform, okay. Now, uh, last year, or maybe it was a couple years ago, or so, VidMe was forced to shut down because YouTube, the heads of YouTube, were really not liking competition. Okay, you got VidMe and you got BitChute. Okay, two good platforms. One was just shut down a couple years ago. Was forced to shut down because it's getting pretty bad. I mean, um, now BitChute is getting deplatformed by PayPal, which is like how can a company where you could get like you could put money on PayPal. If you have a PayPal account, you can put money on that, and you can use that to um, for whatever you need, whatever it is. But it's kind of like call it that. Um, I don't know what the thing is, but it's getting really bad. I came across. I mean, I came across that hearing yesterday, and I listened to every. I mean, it was insane that this guy uh, pretty much lied through his teeth, but he slipped one bombshell. And when you're a senator at a judiciary committee hearing, and they pretty much put out what's already there, and say, well, because they did this to Zuckerberg, and some say, oh, Zuckerberg won that one. He walked away. No, he did not. Okay, he did not. I mean, just because you're a fucking billionaire, don't mean that you're above the law. Okay. Now, Mark Zuckerberg, he was torn to shreds. Okay. Did he win it? No. he was torn to shreds because now here's the thing: when when he was asked who's his biggest competitor, he knew who it was. He didn't want to answer because he knew what it was. It was Google. Google is their most biggest competitor, and now here's the one thing that could really bring Facebook down. That is if the European if the countries in Europe, the European Council get together and say, look, we're going to regulate your fucking ass. Okay? We're gonna regulate your ass. And can it happen? You bet your ass it can. Because when you're fucking up even in Europe and shit, they got no problem regulating Facebook. I mean, thing is, see, the thing is, a lot of these tech companies, man, the heads, they do not give a shit. Okay, Google started out in mid late '90s as a small search engine, small, and the biggest competitor was Alta Vista. Alta Vista was a pretty big search engine. Okay, it was the MySpace of search engines and shit. So, and it was forced to shut down when Google got a little momentum. They ended up buying Alta Vista, and this was when you had to plug in a dial-up. You had a dial-up modem. I mean, dial-up on your shit, and half the time it would. No, you could even get a phone call. People would make a call, all of a sudden, no interference. It may interfere like, "Well, I tried calling you." Well, I was on the computer, so that's why. Now, I've always done this one time. I took a splitter, put in the phone jack. I took a phone cord for the phone at one port, one for the internet, and one another port. What up? But there's a lot. I mean, a lot of. I mean, the guy lied yesterday, but he dropped the big bomb. That's like everybody, pretty much everybody. Okay, the thing is, we already know what's going on. But the thing is, you ask the CEO of a company, they're going to say, well, they're going to end up tiptoeing around the question or side the question. I also came across an article yesterday, some news this morning as well, that it's insane. Um, now, uh, no, Bukhari Axios defends Google's following CEO congressional uh, hearing. Axio, a news website funded by venture capitalists who also invest in the tech company industry, ran an article casting doubt on the concerns about political bias on the part of Google following the congressional testimony of CEO Sundar Pichai. Instead of focusing on the testimony of Pichai, chief executive of a monopolistic tech giant and a world's second most valuable company. Axios instead opt to try scrutinizers. Axios offered a point-by-point analysis of an issue raised by Republicans in the House Judiciary Committee, which questioned the Google CEO earlier today. But many of these rebuttals were just unsubstantiated disagreements. For example, one Axios counterpoint to Republicans raising the finding of Dr. Robert Epstein, the psychology study of the effects of search engines and electronic election outcomes, is that Google has disputed the study and insists that it does not rank search results in order to influence election outcomes. Another For another counterpoint, Axios quotes 3 out of 12 academics, one quarter minority, who said they were uncertain about the source of bias. Final, Axios endorsed counterpoint against Epstein's study was the opinion of a single academic. One academic quoted by the Post suggests that some of the bias that study found could be coming from our users themselves, not Google. None of the counterpoints address the substance in Epstein's work, which is the search engine manipulation. Whether Google is engaged in it or not can cause a double-digit swing in a voter preference. Roger Goodlettle, who raised the study, also did not focus on allegations that Google actually manipulated the search results, but rather than the fact that they are capable of doing so. This is a problem in itself, given that there are currently no official oversight on monitoring systems that could detect deliberate manipulations on part of the tech giant. The problem is that Google is manipulating elections. It's that even if they are, they could be, and we won't know about it. Google is subject to no official oversight, monitoring, or transparency requirements designed to prevent political search engine manipulation. For As for actual evidence, political bias behind Google search product, there's plenty of Google's leaked intern briefings that claims the company shift towards censorship partly in response to political events. It's a leaked email showing that Giant's director of monetization made broadband news an area of focus in the company's effort against fake news to more leaked emails when the company used the future term out Latino votes in the key states in 2016. Even Pichai acknowledged that the latter will constitute partisan behavior, which is why he also brazenly denies it despite a instances of email from his own head of multicultural marketing proving his statement wrong. The clearest example of politically biased Google policy that it prioritizes sections of WikiLeaks article in which result in underneath YouTube's video. The latter, in particular, is a conscious decision on part of the company to use a highly biased left-wing source of inform its users. Nevertheless, Axios maintain that no credible evidence have been presented that suggests Google's engine program, the company's search videos, or new algorithms to favorite one political ideology over another. Axios was set up with backing of from big tech. Axios was set up with backing from tech giant royalty, including Steve Jobs' widow and heir, and venture capital firm Lair Hepu, which also invested in the tech companies Venmo and Giphy. That's that's really just insane. All clear after Facebook headquarters evacuated over bomb threat. It's Sundar Pichai testifies the five best challenge poses to CEOs. Several Republican congressmen stood out during Google CEO Sundar Pichai's hearing before the House Judiciary Committee Tuesday. Breitbart News has pulled from its executive coverage of the Google hearing in order to present the five best GP representatives to question the CEO Sundar Pichai. The topic ranged from political bias to tech giants reliant on Wikipedia. Representative Matt Gates, representative from Florida. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Republican, fuck. Republican from Florida questioned Pichai's over Google's political bias, citing the recent bipartisan news executive report, which revealed a group of Google employees attempted to take down Breitbart News advertisement. In their back and forth discussion, Gates repeatedly grilled Pichai and asked a question like, "There is talk of suppressing congressional." In their back and forth discussion, Gates repeatedly grilled Pichai and asked questions like, "There is talk of suppressing conservative speech by employees in Google. Why won't that be something you would launch an internal investigation in, publish those reports, sanction those employees that may or may not engage in proper conduct so we can be involved in the experience? How can have confidence that you're protecting the sanctity of your system when you don't even know your employees are getting together on your own company's infrastructure to talk about political activities?" Declared Gates after Pichai admits that he had looked into anti-conservative groups. You can read the full script between Gates in here. Representative Jordan, Republican of Ohio, questions about Google's efforts to boost the Latino votes in key states prompt Pichai to deny companies having done so, having a fact that it has been proven through leaked emails. As reported in Breitbart Tech senior reporter ALM, Google CEO Sundar Pichai repeatedly denied that the platform's used features and donation to turn out Latino votes in key states in 2016, despite the existence of leaked emails from its head of multicultural marketing claimed that the contrary. Pichai, who was testifying under oath before the House Judiciary Committee, really told Rep. Jim Jordan of Ohio that the details, description of voter turnout effort in the leaked emails were not correct. Rep. Jordan highlights two lines from the emails in which Google's head of multicultural marketing, Eliana Muriel, described Google's get out the vote efforts. We pushed and get out the Latino vote with our features in key states. We support partners like Voto Latino to pay for rides and polls in key states, which I said we are very concerned whenever there are allegations like that. But Jordan interrupted him to answer the question whether and we in both Morello's sentence refer to companies Google. Extraordinary, particularly given under oath the CEO denied it, as Google wouldn't participate in any partisan efforts around the civic process, so I don't think so. The statement is significant for two reasons. First, because the statement was clearly false. Muriel's email, which Breitbart published in full earlier this year, clearly refers efforts by Google to boost Latino turnout in key states. Second, Pichai conceded that such activity would be partisan activity. So once it can be shown that Muriel wasn't lying, Pichai has no way to claim that the get out the vote efforts were nonpartisan. Rep. Lamar Smith from Texas made several good points during Pichai's hearing. Highlights that Google from Dr. Robert Epstein's in Google's ability to swing votes report to PJ Media about the dominance of liberal media outlets in search results over conservative sources. During the conversation, source between Smith and Pichai, the CEO denied any bias, dodged questions, and claimed human employees are unable to manipulate algorithms. Bullshit. Google has been revolutionized the world, though not entirely in the way I expected. American deserves the facts, objected, reported, declared Rep. Smith. The muting of conservative voices by platforms has intensified. During the presidency of Donald Trump, more than 90% of all internet searches that took place on Google or its subsidiary YouTube, and they are currently what we see. Smith continued, Google is a long-faced criticism for manipulating search results. Censor conservatives, conservative individuals and organizations have had their pro-Trump content tagged as hate speech or had their content reduced to small search results. And enforcement of immigration laws have been tagged as hate speech as well. Such action poses a grave threat to a democratic form of government. PT Media found that 90% of search results of Trump were from liberal media outlets. In fact, not a single right-leaning site appeared on the first page of search results. This doesn't happen by accident, but it baked into the algorithm. Those who write the algorithms get results they must want, and apparently manage also allows it. Dr. Robert Epstein, the Harvard-trained psychologist, authored the study showed that Google bias likely swung 2.66 million votes to Hillary Clinton in the 2016 election. Google could, well, elect next president with dire implications of our democracy. This should be a real concern to all, the most politically partisan, those at the top of the set of tone. It will require Herculean effort by a chief executive and senior management to change the political bias now programmed in company's culture. Rep. Louis Gohmert of Texas also brought up a number of vital issues during the hearing, includes Google preferential treatment of the information from Wikipedia on unreliable source of information. Gomer criticized Google for placing unreliable information from Wikipedia at the top of most searches results in its own official panel, and criticized Google's subsidiary YouTube partnership with the far left Southern Party Law Center, arguing that Google should be held liable for false information by two is made. Wikipedia is a trusted spot, and when Wikipedia slanders or libels someone, you are the one has to be trusted above any other entity. You are to be liable, declared Gummert. I encourage you to look around and notice you running off conservatives. You embrace liberals, and it's time Google was actually not immune so that people can hold you accountable. Rep. King of Iowa. Question for Chai, the search giant's algorithmic bias against conservatives. There are very strong convictions in the long uh, side of the aisle that algorithms have been written with a bias against conservatives, declared King. What we don't know are who are those people working at Google, and we don't know what the social media is like. We at least theoretically a built-in bias that's here. It's not being examined. It's not examining the social media. How he continued. How would you expect that you can get to an objective result? And it is very bad. I mean, you think that quite often within the last 2 years that conservatives have been just absolutely um, no, I mean it's just that I mean it seems that um, I don't know. I mean you got to think that you to look for a certain result in a search, and it's not there. If it is there, it's probably further back in the last page of the searches and shit. Um, but you think um, you wonder about what is the solution. Um, I mean, what is the solution to this? There has to be a solution to all this. And Google has some good stuff. You know, the Chrome's pretty good, but it collects too much information about you based on what you use, what sites goes on. The Chrome collects information on sites you go on, and it collects any information that you search on the Google search engine. It stores it in your Google account. If you use a certain kind of browser that's not run by Google, you can pretty much they can't be able to collect anything off that information from the search you uh, get from when you're using a different type of search, a web browser. Um, but can they collect? No. If you're using a different type of browser, a web browser, no, they cannot. Because some will say, well, Google can collect any information if you use a different web browser. No, they cannot. Okay. For example, if you use the Mozilla Firefox Focus or the let me see here, um, or if you use the Firefox Nightly or Bot or Fox, DuckDuckGo, WaterFox, these these will not collect anything on you, and Google cannot. I mean, if you use one of these browsers to search go to Google and search for a certain topic, they cannot collect any information on you off you through that. Um, some say, well, Google can collect any information if you go on a certain site. No, they cannot. There's things that Google can do, and there's things that Google can't do. Okay, if you're using a web browser that basically doesn't basically hides you, makes you invisible, okay, online. And what's kind of cool is that DuckDuckGo is now on the iPhone, and you can go on there. Sorry about that. You can go on your iPhone and you can download the DuckDuckGo. Um, what I have I use Firefox Focus, and I use it quite a bit. I use it because it's a very good platform. It's a pretty good platform and stuff like that. So it's kind of but the thing is, you would think, okay, well, I'm going to kind of like so like you're gonna so like you're gonna be using a different browser besides Google because Google, yeah, Chrome's good. Like no, like I said, Chrome's good, but I don't use it. because of certain reasons, and my reasons are reasons no. Um, but when you want to look at a different um like you want to know, okay, how can I do this? What can I do to have a really, like just, but the thing is, you ask yourself, you ask yourself, or you want to ask yourself this question: what is the solution? Okay, what is the solution? And we could try to come up with it, and just absolutely, we could come up with this solution. We could do it, and that's like a solution to, like 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 before the Edward Snowden uh, revelation. We've been gonna hear a lot of crap about Google tracking you, NSA's tracking, and NSA's doing this, and Google's doing that. But the Snowden revelation of 2013 was like the biggest, like, dude, um, like the biggest um bomb ever dropped in that year, and Julian Assange confirmed it. He confirmed it, and we're on our computers, or on our devices. We, we surf the web, we social media lives, we go on social media. We really, we do stuff. We do stuff on our devices and shit. And our devices and stuff, and most of us have a concern. We, we don't want to be we don't want to be spied on. We don't want to have anybody tracking us, or but the thing is, the big concern is, how much information do they have on us? And that is the big question. How much information do they have on us? Okay, that's the question you're going to ask yourself, because you can ask yourself that question for the rest of your life. You can ask that question for the rest of, for the rest. You could ask that very same question for the rest of your life. Okay. Now, a few years ago, Apple had a solution. Okay. Windows 8. Windows 8 came out, and Google did the same thing. They got their phones encrypted through the Android operating system, and it pissed off the FBI. Okay, it pissed off the FBI, and they tried everything, and Apple said, "Fuck you, ain't gonna do it." not going to do it. It will not happen at all. Period. And they asked, well, could you create a modify your software to create a backdoor? Tim Cook said, "Fuck you, ain't going to do it. Not going to do it. Won't do it." And so the FBI went to the court, tried to court order Apple into doing it. Apple said, "Fuck you, ain't going to do it." And now, so they spent $1.3 million to a hack team in Israel to crack the iPhone, because the iPhone has a 256 AES encryption, military encryption. Okay, now here is a known fact. Okay, here's an actual known fact. Before the new phones go out, new devices like computer, tablet, phone, whatever, agencies like the FBI, NSA, CIA, goes to these companies. And though, even though the companies don't want to do it because they want to protect the anonymity of the customer, of the customer, they would blackmail these companies, force these companies. Oh yeah, force these companies to give them a crack so they could install some shit, give them piece of the software that's in the phones, tablets, computers, and whatnot, because they want to know what everybody in this country and in the world look for, that keywords. Okay, they have a list of words that are keywords, and there are pages and pages of keywords. Now, say like on that list is baked potato, which terming of kind of a weapon. Okay, what is the baked potato? So let's see, list baked potato, and code words like they'll say, well, keyword, see, baked potato, bomb. Holy crap! They're gonna cook the. And mine says they said that they're going to cook a baked potato. Okay, let's see here, or down. Fuck, they're gonna do it. They have these key words, and the reason that they want to blackmail these companies into um, pretty much give them access to these devices before they go out to the showroom floor or the shelves, whatever. They want to install something in the back door. In the back door, and you would think, like, why don't these tech companies protect people? You know, before giving out their devices and give out sell their shit. But the thing is, you got these tech companies from Yahoo to Apple to Google to Facebook to you name it, and if you ever played Watch Dogs, which I like the game very much. Now, if you play part two of Watch Dogs, it would like holy shit. A lot of information from that game alone would tell you what the fuck's going on. Now, people are wondering what company is Bloom. Okay, let's. Okay, let's see here. I'm gonna go to Bing. Bloom. Let's see here. What? Let's see here. What is? Let's see here. What is Bloom in Watch Dogs? Okay, Bloom Corporation. Okay. Okay. Self-describing a world's foremost innovative, high-tech, high-performance communications through security technology. Blue Corporation specializes in everything from wireless phones, operating systems to home computers, digital imaging processors linked to network system securities. They take pride, in fact, in helping they helped create most of the markets that now dominate. Bloom's have poised to reshape the way people think about information security. Bloom had its own security contractors and watchdogs to protect companies' major interests like CCOS control centers, Bloom property, etc. They're notorious for various criminals records of, of the members. However, they offered a big company protection. Other assets were swapped by Omni Security Corps in Watch Dogs 2. They are distinguishingly CTO signs of their gray uniform. Uh, Now, this personnel here is kind of like Charlotte Garner, CCO and VP of Bloom Corporation and interim mayor of Chicago. Okay, okay, okay. What? Um, who is Bloom in the in the real world? Let me see here. Let me go back to here. Let me go to here. Who is Bloom? Bloom in the Now it's supposed to be a wiki, but there's a real Bloom corporate company in the real world. Okay, now we all know that Google and Watch Dogs is Noodle. Okay, now my question is that because Bloom ain't the NSA, they're not government, they're a corporation and shit. Um, now um, let's see here. I'm trying to think here. Well, the thing is, tech companies have really expanded throughout the world. I mean, you gotta think. Um, but it's getting bad, very fucking bad. I mean, you gotta think. If Facebook now, we all know what Invite is, Facebook Watchdogs, and it's um, also if you look at Life Invader in GTA 5, that's pretty much Google as is, or Facebook, one or the other. And yeah, I know they're only games, but you also got to think. Okay, you look at these tech companies like Facebook and Google and how much reach they have into really knowing of what they could have on you. I mean, you could have. Uh, I mean, is it true that they know more about you than yourself? No, no, because none of these algorithms can predict your next move. See, or whatnot. Okay, there's ways of using now. There's ways of using these devices against the company. Okay, because they think and they're creating the biggest. See, they're your little best friends, but also your own worst enemy. But also, you could use these against the companies because if they could track you, there's ways of not being tracked. Okay, Android is open source. Okay, it's open source. That means you can download, say, Linux. Download Linux in here and shit. But there's ways of not. There's ways of going invisible. Okay, invisible. Now, um, also, tech companies will make a lot of money using your data. Basically, you're a product of them. And now let's look at Facebook. What's Mark Zuckerberg? A slave. He may be a CEO and co-founder. He's not a founder. He's a co-founder. Okay, co-founder. Um, he's a co-founder, not a sole founder. He's a co-founder. Now, Mark Zuckerberg is also a slave. He's a slave, big slave, to the Atlantic Council in Cambridge, Analytica. two companies that got their hands up his ass. They're pulling his strings. He's their puppet. And if Mark Zuckerberg don't do what they want him to do, they'll go somebody else that'll do the job for them. That's why he's part of the technical Illuminati. He's part of the technocrats. He's a technocrat, and they got him by the balls. See, they got the guy may be arrogant. The guy may be an arrogant son of a bitch, but he's a slave to these companies. Okay, now the Atlantic Council was founded in 1961 by the Rand Corporation. Okay, they got him by the balls. Okay, they got him by the fucking balls. You know what I mean? Think about it. No, they got him by the balls. What can he do now? What can he do now? He has to do what they want him to do, even though he's a slave. He's their slave. Stop and think. He's a slave. He's a slave to his own monster, and they have an agenda, and they want to use him for their agenda. Now, do you ever wonder why he put duct tape over his um, webcam? Do you ever wonder why Jim Comey puts tape over his webcam? They know. They know what we already know. They know. They already know what we know, and they don't like it because we know. They hate it that we know. See, they try to keep it hush hush. Okay, hush hush. It's when you really look at it like that. Okay, look, we can become invisible online. Okay, on the web, we can do it, and they don't like it. They don't like it because it pisses them off. Okay, I could go on. I could hit the Firefox Focus web browser. Hit that. I could search any website, including Google, including Facebook, and they can even track that. Okay, they could claim they can, but honestly, I don't think so. How often do we search the web on our devices? Quite a bit. Depends on what we're searching for. And I've been a big fan of now. Here's something that's fucked up. There's a anti-encryption law that was passed this week. Okay, and if you if your device if your device is encrypted, you could be in some serious shit. Okay, and it was passed. I think it was in the UK or Australia. Now, David Cameron, when he was Prime Minister of England, England, He tried to get WhatsApp banned. He tried to get a couple other ones banned because they are encrypted. And so he wanted it banned because he couldn't get anything from the device because people are using WhatsApp. They're using a lot of these encrypted messaging services and shit. So how can FaceTime on the iPhone? It's also encrypted. So is iMessage. Think about it. And James 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 Comey, former director of the FBI, he wanted Apple to to uh, create a backdoor for the iPhone so they could go in and uh, check out the phone that belonged to the supposed shooter in the San Bernardino incident. But Apple said, "Fuck you, no, ain't gonna do it." And then one thing he said that Comey said, the encryption is a sales pitch. Well, it's not. Well, it's not. Encryption for your device. Hey, people are now people are now getting the iPhones and shit now because of its encryption and shit. You could do all kinds of shit. And the devices. Hey, you gotta think here. Okay, the FBI has over 22 iPhones that cannot be cracked because people have made them so encrypted that they can't even crack it. Can't even crack it. Now, Geeks Phone and Silent Circle together created a 5 year journey work to create the black phone. It's encrypted, and it was used by executives. It was used by people that work in government and who are executives and shit. So it's run off of the private OS. It's a modified Android operating system called Private OS, and I have one. I have a black phone, and I think that's very important to know that hey, you have a lot of hackers, you have a lot of government cocksuckers, intelligent dumb shits that will do anything to find a way to tap into your system, your device, and shit, and then just absolutely try to siphon in as much information they have that you have that they can sell in the black market, sell it to the government, give it to the intelligence agencies and shit. But the thing is, it's very important to know this shit. And you know, I feel pissed every time when I hear about that someone's phone was hacked or someone's computer was hacked or something like that, or that Facebook and Google has been tracking somebody, or Facebook is tracking somebody even though they have no Facebook account. And it is very stupid because it's pissing off a lot of goddamn people, and they want them to back the fuck off and stop. Do you think they'll do it? Oh fuck no. They they enjoy pissing off people. Mark Zuckerberg loves to be arrogant. It's all that power he has. He refused to. I mean, the guy is mentally fucked up. The guy needs to step the fuck down. And somebody independent could run Facebook until he's better. And maybe while at it, he could kind of fix things a little bit. But there has to be a solution. There needs to be a solution to these problems. I mean, bringing in the heads of these companies ain't going to help because all they're going to do is dodge these questions. Dodge it. They're not going to tell you the damn truth because, hey, they're fucking billionaires. They ain't got to tell you shit. They're above the law. They ain't got to tell you a goddamn thing. Let me let me give a look. Let me give a little example here. Okay, farmers in Nebraska use John Deere tractors. Okay, they rely on GPS to help guide their tractors into plowing the fields and other stuff that in the field. And they need to do a diagnostic on their tractors, and they need the software. Okay, software, and they need a new sensor for it. I mean, John Deere's a good company. Okay, they build tractors and shit. And this, this farmer, one farmer said that he had a sensor that went bad, and he tried to have it repaired or get it replaced. John Deere said, "Well, we don't carry that model." What? So one farmer had to get a bootleg copy of the software itself to do a diagnostic on his tractor. And so, tech companies don't want you to fix your own shit. Okay, these farmers want to have the right to repair. Now, now you see people quite often fix their own vehicles. Okay, whether it's a whether whether it's a van, truck, car, or SUV. But thing is, these are tractors, smartphone devices. Okay, the company is not losing any money. Okay, they're not losing any money. But a rep from Apple and Microsoft went to Nebraska and tried to coerce legislators that passing this law would be bad. And they said, well, we might end up closing shop and leaving. Well, here in the United States, you have a right to repair a product you bought, you owned. Okay, they sell companies sell products. Okay, companies sell products like the smartphone, gaming console, tablet, TV. Okay, And when it comes to the your iPhone or your Android device, you know, you should have a right to repair your property. You bought the product, it's yours, okay, it's yours. And you shouldn't have someone from a tech company industry come in and try to say, well, if you pass this legislation, we're going to end up packing up and leaving. And the tech companies are not really losing money. They're not. Okay. These farmers are basically fixing their own tractors. They're fixing their own tractors by a software. Okay. They hook up their computer to the tractor. They run a diagnostic. There's nothing wrong with that. Instead of being an arrogant fuck, work with them. Work with them. Okay. You're not gonna lose any money. You'll make money a little bit here, and when you send out representatives of your company, you're basically making yourself look bad because you're thinking about only profit instead of the consumer who bought your product. That shows that you as a corporate as a company, you don't give a good 2 cents or good two shits about your consumer. Instead of helping them fix the product that they bought from you, you want them to waste money to buy a new one. Maybe it's the phone, the thing that they want to keep. Maybe they love the product they bought, the whether it's a tractor or a phone or automobile or whatnot. You cannot force them to waste money that they ain't got. You claim you want what's best for you want what's best of what the consumer wants. And if the consumer wants to fix the product that they bought from you, help them out. Do something good for them. But if you won't help them and they want to do it themselves, or they could go to a third party to have it repaired, hey, let it happen. You're not really losing any money because the person already owns the product that they bought from you. All right. I mean, that's like it's like the story between Apple and Qualcomm. Okay, you're you're not really losing any money. Just that these two companies are fighting over a patent. Over a patent. Okay, now you own the device, you own the tractor, you own the automobile, you own the TV, you own the game console. The company's not really going to lose any money because the person is doing the repairs. Okay, you're not really losing any money, and there is no copywriting infringement on the repairs. Okay, back then, I mean, even to this day, you have repair shops that repair washers and dryers and refrigerators and shit, right? Hell yeah! Back in the day, you had a a typewriter repair guy or a TV repair guy. You send in your TV, they put in the part, cost, and labor. Hey, because the company didn't lose any money. It was a repair shop. I mean, there was no contract with any TV maker or maker of a washer and dryer or a refrigerator or stove. You send it in, they repair it, you pay for the cost and labor, you're good. But it seems now it's like you can't repair your own. You can't repair your phone. Apple gets pissed off because people are going to a third party repair a repair shop, and they're just kind of pissed because then these farmers in Nebraska driving tractors running that uses GPS to guide the tractor while going over the fields and plowing them and just working the field and shit. But instead of bringing in a rep from Apple or Windows, Microsoft, these tech companies that would go out there don't listen. If they had the balls and common sense and patience to actually listen to the people for a moment, listen to what they're going through, understand where they come from. Well, we understand where they come from, but no, shut the fuck, you sit down. This isn't time for you to get arrogant and stupid, okay? But John Deere, the company needs to listen too, okay? These companies don't give a good goddamn about you. Period. Okay. Don't get me wrong. John Deere's a good company. Okay. Apple's a good company. Okay. Google's a good company when it comes to their devices, to their tools and their system stuff. Their smartphone and stuff. But do they give? Do they really give two shits about you? Fuck no. They don't care about you. They care about what they can do to you because they're part of the tech elite. Because the big brother, the big government, brought in these tech companies from Yahoo to Google to Apple to Microsoft, everything else, to be part of this umbrella of bullshit. Okay, because these companies were blackmailed and forced into it because, hey, we need you guys to spy for us. And I bet you half companies are regretting it right now, even though they're still doing it. I bet there's at least 7 or 8 companies that are totally regretting it right now. Totally regretting it. So kind of understand where, hey, look, this is where I'm coming from. This is why I'm doing this. This is why. Well, the thing is, it's fucked up because why to begin with? Why? Why is it that you're wasting your fucking time letting these entities like the FBI, NSA, like other entities like them, forcing your company to be part of this spy bullshit? You know, um, be part of something stupid. If I run a company in Silicon Valley and a representative of these agencies come to me and ask me to be part of something like that, I'll say, no, what? No, I'm not going to do it. I won't do it. Don't want to. It's not what I do. It's not what I'm going to do. Simple as that. But we carry these things every day in our pocket, and we do a lot on these things. Most people would rather use this than their computer. And I mean, search the web. Order out. Find directions of um, find directions of where the next 7-Eleven is, or um, read the news, watch the news, and shit. Listen to music and shit. Communicate, buy shit in here. Upload videos onto YouTube or some shit. But there's a big concern about that. Is just that what what can you do? What can you do as a tech company and say, look, I'm not going to be part of this. I would be shocked. I would be really shocked if Apple, I mean, for example, if Apple or Yahoo say, fuck it. I don't want to be part of this fucking shit. Become independent. Want to be a company that sell goods to people that can afford it and whatnot. Don't want to be part of this fucking crap. I mean, Apple was forced into it. Okay, Apple was forced into it. I don't think they would like. Well, okay, sure, no problem. Microsoft. I don't think they. I don't think they went along willfully. They were. I mean, see, these tech companies were threatened. They were threatened. And if you're in a tech company and you're threatened by a big government, hey, fuck them. Take them to court because they gotta be part of this fucking umbrella bullshit. Spying on its consumers and shit, tracking the consumers, sell their data and shit. I mean, fuck them. If I was running Google right now, I would say fuck it, ain't gonna do it. Fuck them. You know, I'm gonna I'm gonna do what is necessary. I'm gonna do what is necessary because it's hard to run any kind of business in tech or whatever. And I mean, I bet half these guys are wanting to pull their hair out of their skull and shit. Like, God damn it, I don't want to fucking do this shit, but they do it because they're being forced to. Okay, no big brother wants to bring in these tech companies to spy on people. Spy them through their webcams and shit. You know, um, but I found an app on my phone. It's called uh, Camera and Microphone Blocker, and it blocks the microphone and camera from hackers. It's blocked. It's blocked. It says here at the bottom, camera and microphone blocked. Oh yeah. I also have an app called Cam Shield. Okay, what's Cam Shield? Okay, why Cam Shield? Conglomerates, governments, hackers. They have access to your smart camera. They are watching you. Malware is embedded in harmless apps, Viz, Instagram, and WhatsApp, etc. These apps would click your photo when you're not aware. Save yourself by starting the Cam Shield service. Cam Shield will notify you whenever your camera is accessed, and it has the anonymous the guy Fox mask with his eyes covered, and it is very worth it. Block camera, block microphone, continue blocking after reboot. Oh yeah, because if you use the camera and microphone blocker, you could keep conglomerates, government, and hackers and spies from spying on you and shit. Basically, they won't be able to take your ugly mug or hear your hideous voice. And tell you what, man, this is this is how you could turn your device against the company that sold it to you. That I mean, not HTC, but I'm saying Google, because the operating system. I mean, Watchdog. What's Watchdog? I mean, you gotta think here. Like, holy shit! Like, gotta think. What is there? Like, holy crap. You I mean, it's what? Come on, guys. Look, we all know what's going on. Okay, we all know. We ain't stupid. Okay, some of you would rather go for. You ignore the safety shit, but you're willing to go for the obvious crap. Okay, most of you own an Apple device, right? Ever since iOS 8 came out, people in droves would buy the iPhone. No matter if it's the SE to the iPhone XR, iOS 8 to iOS 12 point what? Is it here? 12? No, 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 not here. 12.1.1. It is Apple knew what they were doing. I mean, shit. When iOS 8 came out, like holy shit, it's encryption. It's a encryption software that's been installed. Google did the same thing with the Android devices and shit. Whether you use HTC, Alcatel, Samsung, LG, Galaxy, uh, BlackBerry, even the new Boeing phone running off the Android. Holy shit! And a lot of these phones are becoming advanced in encryption, and it's making law enforcement and Big Brother pissed off because they can't get shit off of the devices and stuff. But law enforcement really loves going around the Fourth Amendment because of the fucking stingrays and shit. Fucking stupid, man. Like, god damn it, what the fuck? It's it's insane. Like holy fucking shit. You know. But you gotta ask yourself, kind of like what what is the important thing? What is it? You gotta think. What's the solution? Easy. Look for an app that could really protect your device here. It's not perfect, but it'll do the job. It will do the job. It will do the job. And while you're at it, get a cup of coffee while doing it. It's important to know this. You gotta understand why are people have woken up have really woken up ever since the snow and revelation and shit. Hugely woken up. People are not stupid. They're not asleep. Not sheep. People have woken up. I mean, I'm like, holy shit, fully awake, man. Fucking nose hairs. I trimmed them last week. It's just fuck. But the thing is, I love my privacy. I like privacy. But it seems that if you have privacy, it means you're hiding something. Now a cop's favorite saying is, well, if you have nothing to hide, why worry? Because we worry is that we don't want law enforcement or Big Brother or any hacker up our ass trying to find out what we're doing, where we're going, who we're texting, who we're talking to, whatever we're doing on our we're doing. I mean, it's right. I mean, you have a right to privacy, man. Like, holy, what the fuck? You have the right to privacy. It's your right. It's a human right, honestly. It's a human right. So I got to ask the question: is why don't they leave you alone? Okay, it's a good question. Why don't they leave you alone? It's because you are a product of these companies, and they like you being their product because they can find out everything about you, what you're doing, what you've been up to, where you've been. That's where certain apps come in. Okay, certain apps come in. This is a this is a '65 Ford kind of line pickup. These were cool bike. Skaters love these kind of trucks here and shit. Skaters. I mean, you gotta understand. You got web. I mean, you got email services from Proton Mail, Secure Mail, Gorilla Mail, and Phone Guard, and you have Firefox Nightly, Orbot, Warfox, Go, Waterfox, disconnected, disconnect Premium, and Tor browser for Android, and also you got Firefox Focus, secure browser, man, and I mean you can have privacy calls that are encrypted and shit. I mean shit. Yeah, I mean you gotta understand, like, holy crap. But the thing is, every time when there is a solution, and this is a known fact, there is a solution. But it seems that every time when there is a solution, security and privacy, it seems that these government agencies like the NSA and the FBI get kind of pissed because it takes a lot of brave people to come up with a solution. Now, back in the day, if you were to create a certain software where you're creating encryption, okay, this this individual created a software called Pretty Good Privacy (PGP), and he got arrested for passing this around to for people and shit. So, um, was told that he didn't have any credentials or kind of some kind of clearance to even uh, share the software, which it's legal. If you create a software and it's encryption, privacy is a right. It's part of the First Amendment right. First Amendment. Encryption is encryption is a First Amendment right. Okay. Now there are many reasons why that encryption is a right. It's not a weapon. Okay, it's not a weapon. Encryption is not a weapon. All you're doing is protecting your privacy. And it was used by a lot of people. I mean, you could find PGP if you own a BlackBerry Z10. PGP, pretty good privacy. And if you can create a encryption that cannot be cracked, I mean, think about this for a moment. Think for a moment. Okay, if you create a software out of the blue, but you've been working on it for a long time, and you've been using it for yourself for a long time, but you want to share it with people that are having issues, you could turn it into an app or a software download for your device. You could pretty much encrypt yourself, computer, smartphone, tablet, and imagine that. No, you create a software that you download on your device, turn it into an app, and the app could sync itself to your device, kind of like a like connection, like connectors on a track stuck. Even if you try to restart your phone to remove it, it's there. It's there to protect you and your phone itself, your privacy. That means in that encryption that your IP don't know. But I'm glad that there's an app where you can hide your IP address and get a new one in exchange of it. And you could get it on your Android device and your Apple device. Surf Easy is another one that I used to use. Surf Easy was pretty good one, and it hid your IP address. Oh, it was awesome. I mean, it hid your IP address anywhere you. I mean, you could be in the United States and be in Algeria, in Egypt, Canada, Iceland, Norway, Germany, Russia, whatever. And if they try to track you, and they see this, what's he doing over there? And you're right here in the United States, but you're using another country's IP address or a IP address in another state. That's pretty clever, pretty slick, and there's a lot of agencies that don't like that app. They want to know where you're at all times. They want to keep a track on your IP address whether you're on your computer or your phone. And another one is hotspot. Now, here's a question: can you be tracked while using a hotspot? I mean, I've always wanted to know: can you be tracked or tracked while using a hotspot? Can it happen? Maybe, pretty much. I don't know. The thing is, can you? That's the question I got. I mean, think about it. Can you be tracked? Can somebody track you while you're using a hotspot? Think about it. All right, guys. I want to thank you guys for watching this video, and sorry I took too long, and do apologize for that. So, my name is Grandmaster Evan. I'm the founder of the Anonymous Liberty Media, and I want to thank you for watching this video. Please share it, and if you're new to this channel, please leave a like, subscribe, comment below, and please leave a comment below. And don't forget to hit the bell for notification. And if you're new to this transmission, you are the resistance. Remember, knowledge is free. If you don't like it, go fuck yourself. Peace out. Revan out.